So,
Did you say my name?
yes.
The best is just to keep quiet.
And second best is talk about keeping quiet.
It is a solution for many of challenges. Even if in very earlier years I had to learn to talk, and that was also very good. But now these days, I find I might have better discernment where to talk and where not to talk.
Well, fantastic.
So the circumstances I have, there's people kind of challenging in communication and in and I try to take it as a learning where or what. Also, I know that they might not know what I know, and being in different whatever. Wow, it's hot again. Gosh. No. In that, what we call silent, there's such a depth. It's kind of, I don't know if it's pulling me in or what, but it's so, it's like taking me. Uh, Second best, talk about it. How to talk about it. But there's a clear seeing that's not yes, there's the interest because there's a deep knowing that this piece nothing else is more precious and fulfilling. And yet when I try to speak about it, it's like, I can't. It's like, better keep quiet. It's like inside this body now trembling, kind of, kind of vulnerable. Like the hard, hard shells fall away or something like this. So much love. Thank you, Isaac, so much. What to say? And thank you for inviting me to try to say something.
Hmm.
Good morning or evening, in your case. Anything you like to speak?
The sweetness. Meeting sweetness. Looks like my computer's frozen, I wonder if anyone can hear me. Ah, looks like it's moving again. I've lost your picture off here. I don't know. Ah, there you're back.
Yes, it was my internet connection.
Okay. Yeah. Anything that you'd like to speak?
I feel so lucky.
Indeed.
Blessed. Thank you.
Mhm. Okay.
Hi, Isaac. Namaste.
Namaste.
I think I like to say something. I think it feels that there's a. I think, as far as I can see, that this shock is so big to my system that I'm sensing like I will not be able to go through this. Something like that. That's the words of forming. Though I am trying also to gently look who's aware, and there are some moments when a little light comes that I am here, and the one which is perceiving all this, because in 2015, when I was in Muji's retreat and the date before that, the traffic of the mind, the thoughts became so intense that it felt like that I will not survive that traffic. and I thought that night, no Denmark, no India, because tonight is my last night. And the next day, it was when I stood before the mic and I cried, and then he started saying, the one who's perceiving your whole life, that one, can that one be perceived? So we went through a dialogue with him, and if that is an object, then the words which came out of my mouth were, it's not an object, the one which is perceiving. And so then he started saying, who are you? And then we came to a standstill. And I could not say from my mouth that I am that, kind of a word didn't came, but then he said, there is no past, no future, and even present is just a concept to this one. And then within seconds, I was on the other shore, like totally happy and joyful. It was like, it was just so beautiful that I said, my God, I could never imagine that this was a gift, that I had to, life had to drive me to the point of death or something like that. And after that, there was everything was coming up. I said, my God, what is this? All the stuff started to come up, tendencies, and I said, my God, this is too much. And here I am again, on the crossroads again, because somewhere I've seen that, or whatever that is, that sense of being and the perceiver. But the mind interpretation is like, this one I will not be able to take, though something has been seen in my heart, that this presence. And even the effort to, who is aware, of course there's always awareness, but my system is so fucking, it's so freaked out right now. It's totally, I'm trying to understand, like, what's going on? Why? What is this shock? What has happened? I'm not dead, but still.
What is it that won't be able to take it?
Yeah, that's a very good inquiry, actually. Yeah. I don't know, but something is saying that.
Yeah, so that's whatever's saying that is, it's a thought, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So beautiful to recognize that. It's a thought.
Yeah.
And the thought itself has an element of existential scariness, like you're going to die.
Yeah, I can see that now as you talk. I'm recognizing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it creates that. It gives that sense, seeming like.
Yes, I get it.
Yeah. And And if the belief happens in that, then it goes even further, and then it makes more drama. It just adds a layer to that first belief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have, on a practical level, did you have Danish citizenship or Danish residency?
Sorry, I didn't get that, Isaac. Please repeat.
Before, did you have Danish citizenship or Danish residency?
Yeah, I had a Danish PR, like a permanent resident,
Okay.
and
And you had to give that up, or you can go back.
no, the cost was I had to give that up, and in return they gave me the $600 for lifetime every month,
Okay.
and a lump sum of $20,000, and but the price was to give the residency up.
Okay.
And you know it. I mean, say the day I handled the PR, I was happy as a bird. I said, "Wow, it was." I don't even know how it happened. It was a total voluntary, happy decision to be made, but I just could not see through it.
So then now you find yourself here now, and then you see what the next step is. I mean, you know, if India is not a good place for you, you'll see what's next. That's all. I mean,
Yeah. As I'm talking with you, I'm also trying to reverse the process, because there is that little. They have made an option if you can apply for it. Though in my case, it's very clearly written ingen fortals. It means no regrets in my case, because I was not a refugee. I was an immigrant because I have a daughter in Denmark. But I called the office, and he said, well, officially your PR is always valid for a year, so you can there's nothing to worry. You can try and apply, and they see it case by case. So
so that's one next step, and you see what comes after that.
Yeah, this is exactly what this is what's happening, that I'm doing what's coming. However, there's when I'm going through this, whatever this is, the system, there are moments when there is a seeing that the awareness, like the day in Denmark when my attention was totally focused on the clots, and I talked to you, and then, but when I think about it as a memory, but the sense of being, nothing happens to the sense of being, but the way the attention gets focused, and that's the only but then how much choice do I really have that the attention stays in awareness? That's a kind of an inquiry which I'm kind of wanting to take.
Okay. So, you know, it seems to me like the heart beats, the body breathes. Who does that?
Yeah.
Somehow that happens, yeah?
Yeah.
Can't say how it happens, but you just say, okay, yeah. Body makes new cells, old cells die. Who does that? Can't really say. And we don't really even have an experience of that. That just we know it happens from maybe reading what somebody researched. Attention, yeah? Attention seems to move.
Yeah. And the tricky thing is when we don't even know how to say it, but to put attention on awareness, because it's not a awareness is not a it's not an object where you can put something on. It doesn't have quality. It's just sense of being, not with the body, but so really it's kind of to put attention on awareness. So when the inquiry comes, who is aware? I am. And then when you, so all what happens is that you are here, but I don't mean here by just here. Just where to put the attention.
Yeah, that way to put the attention is like that's has so many nuances, and that's like happens through really exploring that question, where to bring the attention. So
Yeah.
you're in the, you know, somehow that process is happening. And as far as I can see, and I don't know, you can check and see in your own experience, it's like the movements of attention happen usually within what interests there are in us. So for example, you know, if you have an interest in music, then your attention would go to music and instruments and like that. If you have an interest in what, you know,
Yeah.
whatever, then your attention would kind of go there. So then attention gets interested in truth or peace, and then starts to, okay, bring your attention to awareness, and
Yeah.
kind of busy with that in a way, you know. It's always within the interest.
Yeah, again, and even and I mean, so we can go on like that. Even the interest somehow is not really controlled by it comes or
No, it comes. Yeah, it comes. Just it's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now the interest is exploring.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility to go back? And so your attention gets following those steps, yeah.
Yeah. But while this is happening, the interests are going in different directions, and attention, there's a deep wish to a yearning for this, whatever I know as Isaac Shapiro, whatever he is sharing here.
Yeah, so then your attention will explore that when it remembers, or whenever, however that happens. You know, it's just like that.
Yeah.
and different thoughts come. Maybe our attention goes with the thought, oh, this is going to kill me. Okay. Whatever. Oh, okay. It's a thought. Okay, cool. I can
Yeah.
relax. Oh,
And while last time when we talked and there was a contemplation happening on how you say on the lines of who's aware, I think something was seen like we're so conditioned to always notice what's arising instead of noticing where the arising is coming from. Something got like the system is so accustomed to always see what's arising instead of staying at the place where you can see it. And
yeah.
I could notice that.
So there's a nice distinction coming, yeah, which is beautiful. And it's coming in relation to some intense, say, suffering or intense resistance, whatever you want to say. So it's
yeah. Yeah.
Like when a song is coming through you, and you're writing, when a song is coming through you, you're writing a song, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, then, it's kind of a process, yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe the whole thing comes all at once. Maybe you play and something resonates and something doesn't, and you tweak it, and maybe you jam with someone else and they got an idea that comes in there. It's just like
It's funny because I'm saying the matter of choice. If he had the choice, then if it was really up to me, I would really not let my attention go anywhere. And all these interests, they're pulling you everywhere, and because it's suffering, then it's tearing you apart, and to stay here. But then I see, okay, this is like I think I remember you saying, I have interest in truth, but I have also like this and this and this and this, So I'm noticing that in my system. Thank you, Isaac. I don't know, it was just.
thanks, Ajahn.
Thanks.
Buddha.
I I got straight after the celebration week, I got a throat infection, but it feels such a gift, to integrate all what was touched. It's really, yeah, it's really beautiful actually just to integrate, and I just like to be a moment
Yeah,
silently.
Anything want to be spoken, Vedanta?
Just feels very hot in the whole body now. And it was, there is a lot, I don't know, vulnerability in the heart. I don't know, something very, I don't know, young, tender, something. Just, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
Let's have.
Hi, Isaac. This morning, this question appeared in the dialogue, and I find it so beautiful. Though it's not new and everybody of us here knows it, question is how to really focus on awareness beyond anything that is happening on the surface, or however you want to call it. How to really be drowned in focusing. And this is a concept, a word construct, of course. How to.
Yeah, I mean, when I first met Papaji, he said, look, you've done very well. Now just bring your attention to awareness. It was like, oh, of course. But then it was like, okay, what does that actually mean? And so then there was this exploration that happened and just kept refining itself and kept refining itself. And that's, to me, I have to describe, it's like learning to ride a bike. It's nothing, it's just like, okay, there's that interest in them. Okay, but
Yeah, that's
and
amazing.
then, like within that, there was, a bunch of concepts that they were like abiding as awareness and all that stuff. But,
Yeah.
As exploring went deeper, it was like, okay, who is it that would abide? It's just this interest to rest as awareness. And yeah, then it's like somehow there's a knowing, okay, yeah, this is, and then this is it, or whatever you want to call it. And it's just, okay, now I get it. It's like, it's not really a doing, it's just,
No.
it's this, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't mean movements don't happen, or that, attention doesn't get drawn somewhere or another. But it's like this doesn't, somehow to me that doesn't seem like it's a problem. It's just like it's doing its thing, and it can do its thing. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's like there can be the noticing of a sunset or a flower or a mood that's happening in someone, or an idea of what I want to get when I drive to town or to the farmer's market, whatever, like life, just life doing its thing. And it's simple. It's funny because it just doesn't seem like there's that many stories about anything. But who knows what the next minute brings? It's just. Like for an example of in my life, we have these 4 chickens, and they sweetest chickens, and we love to let them run free, for a good part of the day. At night, they need to go into their house, which is snake proof and predator proof, so that they can sleep and not get eaten. And for a while, we were letting them just run anywhere, but they started going over to the neighbors and eating their strawberries, and so then we had to find a way to keep them contained, which was great. We managed it, and now they have an area that they can run in. But within that area, I have this raised garden bed that I want to plant a cover crop in to improve the soil. But the chickens go there and they'll eat all the seeds. So now I have to, okay, how do I stop the chickens eating the seeds? So that's on my mind, like funny things, which is all just fun in a way. It's
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, lovely example.
So sometimes I'm sitting here and all of a sudden my mind is, oh, I know I could try that. And then it's quiet again. It's just like,
Mhm. Wow. Thank you, Isaac. Wow.
Andrea. Hi. I don't hear you yet, and yet I see that you've addicted, but maybe.
So I leave the speakers. This is better.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. Okay. Now give me a second so I can turn off the speakers. Otherwise, it's this huge sound.
No problem.
in addition to what you just spoke, the curiosity occurred in regards to integrity, because how I perceive your being, it's so very much moving with integrity. And I mean, you are like really this is really a huge resonance, what this system is longing for to embody. And would you say it's like going hand in hand with this natural, what you just spoke with feet?
Yeah, it's a beautiful inquiry. I mean, to me, integrity comes from wholeness, is the root of that word. So it's like in the resting where there's no boundaries, and it's all yourself. That's integrity, because there is no split. So it doesn't have to do with morality or right or wrong or good or bad. It has to do with just meeting yourself as love, and without the idea of it even. It's just a
Yeah, with you it comes so natural, and I totally agree. Or resonate.
Yeah.
And then what, as we know, there are plenty of beings also a part of like totality and unity consciousness, where it's not occurring.
Yeah.
The similarity of this process, you know?
Yeah, so that, it's like I think we've all experienced, like when hurt comes up and life expresses through that hurt. It has a certain flavor, it has a certain resonance. And then from that perspective of the hurt, especially if it believes someone else is responsible for it, it treats that, it treats that person as if they're a threat to their survival. So whenever you get, expressions of life that are functioning through old information, they just see the world through that lens, and so it functions like that. And so, it's just like, when life is living itself, and you see an animal that has been really treated badly, and you see its signals and you recognize, wait, that animal needs to be approached very gently if there's an interest to approach it. Otherwise it'll bite, or it'll scratch, or it'll do something. Same thing with human systems when they're carrying a lot of old information. So,
Family is just coming home. I'm changing rooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
No worries. No worries.
Go live.
Beautiful.
Yeah. 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 And we had an interesting conversation in Yatran is opening a space every Monday with people from the Sangha. And
Beautiful.
yeah, and it was about like social justice and this whole gender thing going on. And yeah, but whilst you were speaking, it's also just an interest. And when there's an interest, I mean, there's so much material in this genetics, obviously.
Yeah. You know, like it seems what our culture that we grew up functions is it wants for a position to be taken. And yet all that we have to give in the moment is just our attention. And when the attention is soft and gentle and curious and it doesn't take a position, you know, then whatever's going on in someone, it's like they have, how could I say, there's old information playing out as if there's a gender problem or a social justice problem. I mean, we can see at the moment when we look at the world, I mean, for me, it's very obvious that the economic system doesn't function in a way that encourages, you could say, love. It's built in a way where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And it's very easy to understand it. The moment you have interest in the system, if you've got more than a certain amount of money, your money just keeps growing. And people that, you know, like the way the system's set up, you pay tax on everything you buy. And so if you don't have a certain amount of money, you keep going down and you get poorer and poorer. It's just, that's how the system is built. So it's not a system that is human friendly, I would say. And it also keeps this whole cycle of making things that break, and that doesn't make sense if you're looking at it, you know, from a so we can, and then, you know, we've got a political system that is completely corrupt, and I'm talking worldwide. It's everywhere. You can't get in if you don't have money and you aren't connected. So it's again a funny system, and then you got a media system that keeps the whole thing. So it's like we're in a very funny circumstance. It's like, you know, indigenous people were in touch with the cycles of nature, and with some indigenous people, I would say, there's been different. And so for some of us, we love getting back to, you could say, integrity, or resting as wholeness and functioning as that, you know. There's no set way then that it functions. It just meets each circumstance from
And it's
that, yeah.
probably different for each and every expression.
Yeah, exactly,
like,
exactly.
My system needs different information, or like its tone in this lifetime needs, like, yeah, certain information to, or at least there's a huge, like, I mean, it almost feels like an attraction, like, oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
When we first met, I was at a point where I was somehow not speaking anymore because my speech felt so brutal to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met you, and it was like, oh wow, like a light went on inside of myself.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and then, you know, like it shows us we don't need anything from outside to tell us anymore. It's like something in us can easily tell, okay, that was, you know, like those words had a bite to it, or you know, there's something playing in the system that isn't meeting everything as the beloved, and nobody has to tell us. You know, we start to recognize it for ourselves, and there's an interest. Oh, look, I love to live in a beautiful way. It's just
Yeah.
So, and other people might not see it as a beautiful way, but you know, it's within your own, where it feels good in your own heart, and no matter else to. It's interesting because there are some expressions, or some we could call people, that have an interest in creating a new system, that because all that money is a means of exchanging things. It's just a system, and you know, the moment you got interest in that system, it's built in that money's going to keep getting worth less, and that the rich are going to get richer and the poor are going to get poorer. It's just part of that system. So there are other systems that people are playing with and exploring, and so we'll see. It's like,
Yeah. Mainly there's a curiosity and a love in life.
exactly.
And trust. And how fascinating things come along. Like, oh, one day it appears this way and the other day it's yeah. Yeah, thank you. It felt good to speak. It was a strong reaction in my lower body. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Matthew, you're still muted on the bottom left. There's a button. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Andrea sharing. It's good to be here again. The retreat has been peaceful and lovely. And so I'm really grateful about that. And then Sunday, I did, in fact, totally the opposite of being quiet and silent. Went to a big demonstration for climate justice. There was 100,000 people almost in Amsterdam. And it was peaceful. And I thought, wow, this is just so many people. I don't like crowds, but so many people together, just being cheerful and being peaceful. Whoa, and you know, giving each other space also, because that's so important when you're so many people together. So that was quite amazing.
Yeah.
Still, it was a lot, and I was dressed up with a few other women, which was very fun, like suffragettes. And with banners like choose for Earth, you know, ecology above economy, things like you talked about also. And it felt really, yeah, really good. And then
you know, it's like starting to have the conversation. You know, it's like, in one way, I see that this whole climate change thing is being politicized and used in a way that's not actually what the whole thing is about. And it's like, you know, like this whole thing of where we have a built-in obsolescence, like, you know, we have the technology to build things that they can be fixed and replaced and last a lot longer and recycle and all that stuff, but we don't. And then why? Why is it like that? And then, but then we got this thing, oh, it's a crisis now, this climate change, man-made climate change. And then you guys start going, okay, look, yes, there's things going on. We're farming in ways that don't make sense. We're doing a whole bunch of stuff that we need to have a conversation about, in my view, and better understand. But it's always goes through this thing of trying to get people scared and trying to get in. And then you see people coming together and there's a beautiful vibe and people are just starting to wake up and let's have this conversation. And yeah.
Like you said, there's so many good initiatives, and so I don't join the disruptive demonstrations anymore because my system can't handle that. But in agriculture, in housing, and I just like to give my energy to that. And wow, this is a topic that really touches me deeply. How we are with each other, with Earth, with animals, and but Sunday, it's, you know, after a whole week of silence, it got a little bit too much, I guess. And I wore boots with a bit of heels that are supposed to when you're a suffragette. And then I slipped over tram rails. I lay flat out with my white shirts. And whoa, now my ribs are hurting so badly.
Wow.
It's difficult. I try to sleep on my back, and I thought, oh man, what's so like I wasn't totally present, and but there's just so much going on then, and yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to share. It's double-edged. I really like to join these kind of things, and at the same time, my system easily says, well, it's a bit too much. So how to?
And that's the beauty, you know, like just to feel free to explore what's right for your system. You know, from my side, I never put pressure on people, even if they have to come for a whole meeting. You're welcome to come for half an hour, whatever it is, it's free. Just what serves you. So then people can start, okay, you know, but we've had all this programming, you know, you've got to go to school and you've got to stay the whole day, or you've got to go to work and so there's an opportunity for just, wow, what's actually right for me on this day, at this moment? When do I need to sleep? When do I, you know, like that. So,
but the interest is going there, and my body usually says, I want to stay quiet, but then so it can go, it can split, you know, and that's difficult. If I only like in your integrity, you talked about integrity. I think if you're really in your integrity, it's easier to make decisions. I mean, I have a lot of interest to go places, and yeah, and then I follow my interest, and then I fall down on my yeah. It's just it's chaos, really. Yeah. Thanks.
thank you. Andrea, I think you've been host tonight, so thank you very much. And yeah, thank you, beloveds, for showing up.